A remarkable scene and a sign of the times this week in Houston, Texas. Airport runways, look at that, turning into parking lots, and the airline industry suffers an ongoing financial hit due to the pandemic. Hundreds of thousands of flights, in fact, have been canceled due to these travel restrictions. Joining me now via Skype is President of the Association of Flight Attendants, CWA, Sara Nelson. Sara, welcome back to the broadcast. Gotta wonder, if less planes are in the air, does that mean airline industry workers are being laid off or furloughed? What's happening there?
Look, the loads are all the way down to 90% cuts, and we are actually saying that all planes that are not essential travel should stay on the ground. And we have been on the front lines of this healthcare crisis since the end of December. Our flights started to get pulled down in January. Luckily, 80% of the airline industry is unionized and has union contracts, and so we have pay protections. But I should be really clear that every single industry in America has been running at high productivity. What that means is that most people, in order to meet their bills, work overtime hours, and those overtime hours are gone. People are getting their minimum paychecks, minimum pay protections, but otherwise are really hurting.
Okay, real quick, for those planes that are still in the air, Sara, are they adjusting where customers, passengers can sit? I mean, sometimes you see like on the A320s, you've got 3, an aisle, and 3. Are they all full or not?
So they're not full generally, Alex, but we also have worked out with some of our airlines social distancing policies to make sure that we don't have people congregated together, and in fact to make sure that we don't have crews congregated together. Many of the airlines have also stopped the aisle food and beverage service to cut down on the contact between crews and passengers and passengers and passengers. But we have a lot more to do, and we have supply chain issues with the personal protective equipment that flight attendants need to keep ourselves safe. So what we're saying is get every plane on the ground that doesn't really need to be in the air to help fight this virus.
Okay. Those flight attendants who have been laid off, can you give me a general number or a percentage of those who have? And what are they doing to pass the time? I know I've heard reports that some flight attendants are out there, they're volunteering in hospitals and nursing homes, trying to give back.
Yeah. So actually what we did through the CARES Act was something unique that didn't happen with any other industry. We said that if we're going to have a bailout of the airlines, and we're not going to have a bailout of the airlines that everybody hates, we're actually going to craft this so that there are continuation of paychecks. So the grants that are going to the airlines are intended to keep people on the job connected to their paychecks and their health care. And those complications with getting the checks to people through unemployment, that goes out the window. So we have the most streamlined process to get people money right now, to keep it checks that they've built their life around, and to maintain that stability. Now, there's also a requirement on the executives when that happens. They can't lay anyone off. They can't use any stock buybacks. They can't have executive compensation or dividends. And so this is a package that we're hoping can be used for every other industry to call people back to the job and actually get their pay through their paychecks. This is a true workers first package, and this is what we are working on right now over the weekend with Secretary Mnuchin to make sure that he doesn't use the advice of the bankruptcy attorneys that he has called in to make this a difficult process and push these airlines into bankruptcy. Because if he doesn't do this as Congress intended, that's what could happen.
All right, Sara
And then
Nelson,
we would see mass layoffs.
getting it done, though, for the flight attendants and perhaps setting an example for other industries. Thank you so much.